watch this game between the blue Terran Spirit and the red Protoss MaxPax, and we are gonna follow MaxPax here and his player view. We're gonna see how he plays PvT. So MaxPax is a Danish Protoss player. Of course, we don't know much about him. There are some clips on YouTube where he plays 2v2s, where we hear his voice, but other than that he remains a mystery. So he goes here, pylon, and into gateway, and hasn't scouted yet. He goes 17 gas or something like that, and then the next probe he chronos to the enemy base, and then he is at 16-16 saturation, and only after having full mineral saturation he starts looking at the gas there. And I think this is quite interesting choice here, to have the full mineral saturation, and only afterwards you go for the gas to maximize your mineral output as early as possible to be able to afford everything. So after the gateway he goes cybernetics and immediately goes to expansion. And if you look at the production tab, a zealot has been started, and he sees that okay, there's an engineering block, so that's a good thing that he started making the zealot already earlier. And he goes to make the nexus there to his third location. He checks the Terran base and sees that nothing is coming out of there. Sees only a Reaper. No, only a Marine, so no Reaper. That's very important. And now that the cybernetics core finishes, immediately there's nothing except a Stalker. So a Stalker is being made first, so that's more important than the warp gate. And then once he has 50 gas, then he goes for the warp gate. And now he has full saturation, except for one gas is missing, but then a full saturation. But due to his timing, his nexus should be up and running soon, so he can now start rallying the next probes to the nexus. So no need to oversaturate. And the zealot is going to the enemy base, and let's see what he does with that zealot. Some light harassment. He thought that there was no Reaper, so he can just move across with the Stalker also. And he tries to kill the Marine or the SCV. Doesn't manage to get anything, but he has the Stalker going to the base, and now another gateway going in the base. Okay, so first he targets the low health Marine, and then he just remains there to observe the situation. Chronoing out an Adept and just pumping probes all the time. So we're now at the 3-minute mark, and the robotics bay goes down. So the robotics bay is very important in this matchup to avoid widow mines, and also for some other reasons probably, but I don't know what those reasons are. But at least to detect the widow mines, maybe get the observer out, and then perhaps then be prepared to pump Colossus out to counter the 2-base Terran push that might follow up after MaxPax does his harassment. So he has 2 adepts here. He has created a gateway near the Terran base, so this is kind of to replace the warp prism to get some units out pretty fast, and warping in 3 more adepts, so he's up to 5 adepts now at this stage, and sees the cyclone, so it doesn't commit too hard. Now let's see, warp prism coming up. So the warp prism is like not to give Terran the pleasure of only defending the natural location, but actually forcing the Terran to split their forces between the natural and the main base, because the warp prism can just put the units into the main base. Also, the warp prism has the advantage of offering some micro potential, but yeah, here MaxPax tries to go for the bunker, force fields it off, but doesn't manage to do so, and the Twilight Console comes up. Which MaxPax is a bit supply blocked at this stage, and what he does is just prepare the next pylon. Nothing peculiar coming out, just the probes are waiting for the pylon to finish, and meanwhile he puts some adepts in the main base, and let's see how many probe SCV kills he gets. 1 goes down, 2 goes down, 3 goes down, 5 go down, according to the infographic here. And this is still two base pressure at this stage at 5-minute mark, but now it's time to expand because you have the upper hand, you have all the tech, and then the robotics. What is that? What else? I don't know what that is called. Robotics Bay. Yeah. So that goes down now, so you can get the Colossus. And let's return to MaxPax's view. So he's out there. He got the Cyclone, I imagine, doing some harassment with the Warp Prism. Again, forcing the Terran to split their army a little bit, and then getting that third base soon up and running. Another drop, and chronoing to get the blink at the same time. Gets a few SCVs. I guess that's always worth it because these things pay later on if you get some damage done. And the Colossi are now chrono boosted. So this is the time when you realize that the Terran is on 2 base, has been on 2 base for a while, so they will eventually move out from their base, and when they do, it's good to have some splash damage at home. Goes in with the observer, notices there are a bunch of Marines, decides to commit anyway, but the stim is up and decides to walk away, but manages to get a couple of Marine kills. Now he sees with the observer that the siege tank is up there, and let's see what he decides to do here. He decides, I guess, to commit. So warps in, immediately snipes the tank, because the tank is the biggest damage dealer, and then just deals with the Marines and eventually blinks out. And notices that Spirit pulled some Marines from the natural. This is all just to trade the forces a little bit, because Protoss is in a better situation. Protoss has the third base up and running, and this pressure contain is still going on. Terran can't move out yet, so Terran is just there waiting to get his medivacs out, and after that the Terran will move out, and at that moment it's important to have the Colossi to defend. But now MaxPax is just maintaining the pressure, trying to snipe a unit here and there, and waiting when will the Terran move out. There are a lot of gates there to reinforce, and now I guess it's time, around 8 minutes, to make the 4th base. As an observer, we see that here is Terran is making a drop, but MaxPax has good vision, perimeter surrounding his base, and look, he's not warping in too many units, keeping a lot of warp gates also for the purpose of then being able to defend back at home with some hot warp-ins in case there is a need. And now the warp prism is there chilling, waiting to go in the Terran base, and the Colossi are there back home, ready to defend in case something happens. And these run-bys are with slow zealots still, but the purpose of them is to distract the Terran. Terran has to spend some APM on oh no, those SCVs, that's complete carnage. So typically okay, and there's the drop coming to the base, some warp-ins to protect against that, sacrificing the 4th base, but then just focusing on the engagement. The Terran is on 2 base, and I guess at this moment it's time to leave the game. So GG, and that was it.